and they're going to be very difficult to pass. Most of these corners, there's not it's a bit of stop and go in the middle, or the Ducati will ride it very.
There is an outside chance, surely, Michael, with Quartararo fastest in warm-up, that in the cooler conditions, Neil and Keith.
Thanks, Gav. Appreciated. Bradley, Alex, of course. Michael down there in pit lane. Mark is alongside him. Second here last year, Danilo Petrucci. Danilo Petrucci. He 6 times a Grand Prix winner here. Maverick Vinales, sorry, Jorge Lorenzo. 1-250 Grand Prix at 2017 back on the 5th row. But significantly, at this point last year, it was also his worst statistic.
Oh, someone's down
already.
Can you believe this?
Oh, dear me.
It's Joan Mir. That's his 3rd crash today, and
so. Oh, he lost it. It was dear
wow.
me, they both went down together.
Both
So
of
first of all, well, I think what it was Carol Abraham went down as well. So well, that just caught them out, and I wonder if we're going to see any more of that. And I was about to talk about 20.2 miles, and they're away. Good start from Marquez, good start from Petrucci as well, but it's all going to be up into turn 3. That he's been properly mired back in the pack, but Morbidelli, absolute cracking start for him. Mir's going. Now we're looking back at Carol Abraham. Work out whose fault was what in a little while, but he always goes good on race day, and he knows he can't let those 3 in front of him get away.
No, you're right, and Rossi's had no pace.
He had a huge pace in warm-up. The only reason he's not further up the grid, he qualified for qualifying 2, but he had a crash in qualifying 2, which put him in.
Stressing to him, go steady on the first lap.
Oh, hang on.
That was from a long way back.
Petrucci from a long way back, and then Marquez whips it.
Second, here he comes up the inside of Rossi.
Here he comes, up the inside, Rossi, you've got to fight on your hands, but he runs it out wide, and Rossi comes straight back at him and tucks himself into a connected.
Yeah, that was the word I was looking for.
So out front now, Marc Marquez has managed to get away once he's got a bit of heat in his tyres, and that is so crucial here. Dobby's on his way. He's up behind the KTM and Pol Espargaro now, but these guys are all over the track in different parts. We're at Recordamont. It really was, but from that far back, we always knew in dry conditions it wasn't going to work. Dobby takes no prisoners, sticks it up. He's down, of course. Here comes Jack underneath Petrucci.
Do you know what? Every move you see at this track is a late move. It's the nature of the...
Comes the doctor. I'll take that. Thank you very much, he says. So, though they mess around with each other, Rossi and Dovizioso comes through. So, Dovizioso's pass.
It's them two going wide, isn't it? Yeah,
that's
Rossi. You don't need a second invitation.
No. Lights for Marquez and Miller. 33.14, 32.9 for Miller then. 32.9, he's into the 32s. This is going to be one of those spectacular kind of days, isn't it? We always get a shock at Le Mans, one way or another, on the track. But right now, who'd have thought Jack Miller might be the man on the Ducati? Here comes Dobby up the inside now, Valentino Rossi. Dobby goes through. Make you back on the brakes.
Especially when Dobby sat on it, the last of the late breakers.
So Dovizioso goes through into 3rd place now. Miller is all over Marc Marquez. Is it all over for Marc Marquez? Because Miller's through. If you remember, that was in the wet. Was his win.
A long time ago, 2016, on that customer Honda, when he's been the old Jack Miller, the Jack Miller of the start of the season, fast right from the first test.
Scary to watch in a ref, like you said earlier.
Upset Taka Nakagami.
Couldn't see him going with anything
else. And everybody's got soft rears.
13 degrees.
The rest of the field will, because he always goes for a harder compound because of his aggressive braking technique. And that Honda's the same.
Turn 6, let's have a good overhang. I like the overshot from the helicopter here as we go up towards turn 7, up and over the rise and into the braking.
Adverse camber.
Your track guide was brilliant because, not just because it was you, but it was brilliant. So, Jack Miller, Marc Marquez, Dovizioso, Valentino Rossi, Pol Espargaro on the KTM.
You could tell he liked it.
Sorry, the one thing that Marc Marquez is not lacking. On to turn 6 now, he's going to be on the inside. Marc cuts it to the inside. What great racing at La Chapelle. Brilliant stuff there. Marc knew that gap was going to appear. And KTM, what a great turnaround for KTM. Bit of criticism the way they talked about their main rider, or was their main rider. He probably shouldn't have said. But I must say that I'm slightly surprised that they were quite as critical of their rider, because if ever they're...
Vinales fast in the wet, fast in the dry all weekend. Is currently in full.
So there is yeah.
I bet he cannot believe it.
I bet he can't believe it. So Vinales, he got tripped by the Ducati.
Bagnaia
got rammed by the Ducati. So Vinales, yeah, he's too smart for that, Joan Mir. He's just having a ride round, putting mileage on himself and the bike. Big yellow flag waving here as we come to the end. Dice for the Marc Marquez fans around here. Alpinestars launched a beautiful new range. Kept them well.
Critical, blaming himself. This man, it's not going well, is it?
Well, not for him. The other Aprilia's go. There you go. That's why he's sitting there.
The rules are the rules.
And you made the mistake, I'm afraid. So at the moment,
I agree again.
Scary, isn't it? Here is El Diablo, of course.
I'd be surprised if Rossi can hang on up on that setting. Oh, here we go.
Oh, he's got himself in a right muddle there, hasn't he? running out
Well, he's
massively
done the
wide.
right.
And again, he is going to be a podium man, there is no doubt, this year.
Yeah.
Into what is a pretty flat kind of a corner.
Well, it's like the wheels are never in line because it's sort of backed all the way in, and then you get to the slowest point.
6 from Miller and Dovizioso in the 7s, 9s for Rossi. Petrucci still had quite a fast lap on board. That section from a standing start. It's quite tricky when you've got to judge it going up into turn 3. Things are
Right, Marquez, he's got
easing
point,
way,
yeah, he's got
yeah.
0.6 of a second. He was 2/10 quicker on that lap.
going to be worn out, but the fact of the matter is it's who uses the tyres most economically to keep that up to him.
So we'll, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, what normally you'd say then, I'd have to say that the Honda.
The Mickey Mouse, it is pretty much right-hand corner onto the front straight here. Marquez has an 0.8 of a second lead now. It was only halfway from him, but believe me, on this track, it is so hard to make a pass when you...
The Ducatis and Honda is more the bike you'd probably choose.
The only Honda that's actually doing the business at the moment is Marc Marquez. Round 5, we've got 19 of them. And over the line, that was an 0.8 of a second lead from Marquez back to Miller. So it's stabilised.
Here we go.
Franco Morbidelli, here we go then.
Yeah, I'm well with Petrucci. It's quite late. Like I say, it pushes, well, he goes wide and it pushes Rossi really wide. I think with...
Still mega impressed with Pol Espargaro. 6th place. Wow.
Yeah. Sort of came clean and said, yeah, well, I did have issues with my fitness because I'd broken bones and ligaments and...
Won't give it away, but that team is on an incredible high this year, and it really has been an ounce of pang. And don't forget Day of Champions as well on the Thursday. Extra tickets for the paddock.
Approach it. They haven't rushed into it, have they?
And brought the right people
and
on.
they've got all the right people involved. They're going to do an amazing job of it. And
then, of course, the whole weekend. So why not spend the whole weekend in Northampton?
That was late.
You know,
he got through.
Rins ran it out wide, and Quartararo took a look at him.
Yeah, it's an united. Take care, Susie. We all miss you here at the track.
I can't tell you how much there was a worry this week as well when Gav spent 10 days. Meanwhile,
Quartararo's got to the front of that group.
Yep.
So he's worked his way up to 10th. Just set his fastest lap of the close.
It's Zarco, Johann Zarco, then pole man here last year. You heard Hodgie talking to Hervé Poncharal. Should have given the right kit, like full factory, to Hervé and Guy in Tech 3 some years ago.
Yeah. What a shame.
Chance ahead of it when Johann Zarco was doing remarkable things on that independent Yamaha.
Lapping faster than the leaders, but unfortunately he's 12 seconds behind.
We've seen him do it before. Remember when he starts, Dovi at the end of the day is on the full-on factory bike. The full-on, he's got his name on the side of it. They've taken the sponsor.
There's 11 laps to go. Is it misfiring or something? It looks like it's bucking a little bit. There's something obviously clearly
and
not right.
Look, he's running out.
He had a safe 3rd place in the bag, 2nd or 3rd place in the bag.
Well, you might still have the Moto 3 and a Moto 2 bike. You're on the throttle for a fair old way, right the way down towards turn 6. It is absolutely rammed. When we came here, we left really early this morning to get in here, and the fans were already setting zombies walking through it when you get near it. It's the most frightening campsite I've ever seen in my life.
They like a drink here.
With Quartararo, he's right up behind Lorenzo. Lorenzo's going to get it in a minute because Quartararo has got such a great bit of pace. He was, down here, once on a 250, and the others are all on the big bikes in the Premier class. Oh, Jorge.
But look as well,
but he's out wide again.
But then, exactly, the Yamaha just turns.
Here's Crutchlow. He's the next man up the Sepang International Circuit. He's a man that's really forced it through, and Razan Razali is responsible for making sure Petronas were involved in this and putting some money into the... Only got all their bits and pieces. They only got into their workshops at the end of last year.
Yep. And it's paid off, hasn't it?
Oh, Nakatri Red. Ducatis now in 2nd and 3rd. Jack Miller has slipped.
Because of the mixed weather we've had all weekend.
Marc Marquez leads this championship by a point from Alex Rins, who leads
the cycle.
32.309 by Maverick Viñales in 2019. 20.
So I doubt he'll get that, but actually he was 0.6 faster on that lap. So
yeah, 0.6. Yeah, potentially Crutchlow's in trouble, and it wouldn't be a blot on the landscape for him, would it at all? Because he's just trying the best he can. Mega impressive pole.
This is building up to being the last 2 or 3 laps is going to be really good.
Which is what you would have expected. Yeah. Rossi will have it calculated. It's Museum next up into the braking area at Museum. And then you've got a gradual drop, the long run down to the Chemin Auberf, which is the beefy chicane. As we lead onto the short, sharp shoot down towards the final corner, a quarter car park track as, wow, I tell you what, that was a lunge from a long way back and a dirty great black line from Petrucci as well. Might do today.
Like now.
Because that was from a long way back. There we go. Dobby being shown on the screen as well. Dovizioso under a little bit of pressure here from the number 9 Danilo Petrucci. Just about to do that, you know, he's going to be with him, but I don't think he's going to be past him.
I think he's going to be past him.
Do you think
5
so?
laps to go.
So then, comes to the line, he's in 8th place. Oh, it's down to a second, he's taken a lot out of him.
Yeah.
He's a rookie, still only 20 years old, remember. And it's only, what, his 5th Grand Prix?
Yeah.
Yeah, Quartararo had pace. It was his qualifying that let him down at the end of the day, and that was only because the weather conditions. We saw it before, didn't we, in the Moto 3s when Gian Antonio looked like he'd won, but they gave him. Here he comes this time. He's going to get it done. Is he going to be able to pull it down on line? He's out wide, very, very wide. And he gave
The last of the late breakers. We've seen this. How many times have we seen Marc Marquez outbrake Andrea Dovizioso and not managed to get it stopped? Well, Cal knows it's there. Out and out lap time at this point in the race. Fabio's got quite a lot on him, quite a big advantage.
Whether Quartararo makes the mistake of showing Crutchlow too early what he's going to do. There's KTM of Poland.
Turn 7.
Quartararo's through. Crutchlow makes a mistake.
That was lucky for
yeah.
Quartararo.
Dobby, you can hear him there. He's a bit worried about what's going to be coming up the inside of him in a minute, and Petrucci is desperate to get past.
Years ago.
What you know, Nayan Dovizioso.
Because you know, if you wipe Dovizioso out, the number 1 rider, you end up losing your job at
Point 3 now. So Dovizioso pulls the pin on this last lap. Surely Danilo over the hill down towards turn 7. Museum then runs at the inside of him. That's what worries me about him. He comes in there hot, tightening away, and then we're on the long drive. I'll tell you what, great exit there for Dovizioso. Blasted out. In the class, Marc Marquez, Masters Le Mans. 2nd place will go to Andrea Dovizioso from his teammate. Alex Rins through to 10th place. Jorge Lorenzo slips to 11th. We saw that earlier. We're still waiting for
factory Honda. I think they'll be happy with that KTM.
300th win for Honda. So yeah, I thought he might have had a rush of blood at the head on the final lap, which was slightly worrying.
Yeah, that's a winner.
There you go, victory number 300 in the Premier class then for the Honda.
Is that you on that bike, Keith?
Circumstances. We don't know the gentleman, or the lady for that matter, who it was, but at the end of the day, we all have huge Leelenberg.
That's another one. The glass is so half full with this man, isn't it?
Well, it's coming at any time. Which there on the right-hand side, a character that's much maligned around this paddock. He's not. Then they poached Danny Pedrosa as a test rider, but it's Pol Espargaro who's doing the bit. If they make that step change like they seem to be making at the moment, they put that carbon fibre swinging arm in. As you started talking about Mugello.
Yeah, what's that?
A lot, and I would like to thank everybody of my team, of my family, and then next race is Mugello, my home race, so I'm very excited.
At a bit too much at the end, I couldn't keep that speed, but overall 2nd is good, but we want something more. Comfortable, so yeah, happy because in the racetrack normally Ducati are very fast, Yamaha are very fast, but we are there, so this is good news for us.
You know, it's all part of the package.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, completely. Yeah, but we're at the top 5 on the 100th for Honda in the Premier class. He extends his championship lead to 8 points. Simply magnifique.